Hello everybody, this is Brett's Bricks, and welcome back to another LEGO Transformers video. This is episode 2 of my now dubbed old-fashioned Autobot team. In this episode, we will be covering this Transformer I am pretty proud of, LEGO Transformers Roadburn. Now, if you've kept up with any of the toy lines of right now, you'll know that Roadburn is actually already a name that's taken, sadly. You see, I actually thought of the name a while ago, and then the Titans Return Roadburn came out, and I was a little bummed because my name no longer sounded original, but I swear I did it first. Just kidding, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, this is LEGO Transformers Roadburn. Roadburn turns into a 1957 Chevy Corvette. Now, if you don't know what that looks like, go ahead and Google it. Okay, now that you've Googled it, you will see that most of my inspiration for this Transformer just came from that car. I really like that car. In fact, it's actually my favorite car. And I wanted very much to make this Transformer turn into something of that likeness. Of course, it's not perfect. It doesn't look that great, honestly. It's very blocky still and doesn't have that sleekness that that car had. Things I wanted to cover, though, were these really big headlights at the front. Oops. And as well as this unique grill section. It also has these white hubcaps on the sides of the wheels to give those white wheel look, and you'll see they kind of stick out a little bit, but they do look really cool, I think. He does have an interior. It's not too big. It's just big enough to hold a minifigure, which I will show that comparison in a little bit. The back is just a back. There's nothing too exciting about it. It's coming apart right here. And yeah, it rolls really nicely. There's not a single clearance issue whatsoever. Can roll it on and off my set, no problem. You'll see here that he also has this big gun. You will see this more in robot mode. I've taken to calling this the Energon Shot Blast. I don't know, just some name I came up with. And you can see it can peg right here, giving him that armored car look, and it can rotate, so he has the ability to aim. Kind of like the G1 style of armored vehicle. Anyway, taking that back off. Something I really wanted this guy to have would be opening doors, but you'll see that the windshield is attached to the door, so that didn't work out too well. Anyways, let's get on to some comparisons. Here is Roadburn next to his partner, Henry. If you haven't seen my previous video on Model T Henry, go ahead and do that. Anyways, here is Model T Henry. You'll see he is a Model T, obviously, and here is Roadburn. Move this guy out of the way. They stack up pretty well, I'd say. I actually went on Wikipedia for all the Transformers you'll see in my future and past videos. And I always make very clear that they are minifigure accurate. In fact, that is something I find very important when I build LEGO Transformers. I also find it important that minifigures can sit inside. It's not always something I always do, but almost every time I do. You see, if I put him in here, I'm not going to peg him in, but he sits really perfectly in there and has a little seat. Well, the same goes for Henry. If I stick him in, you can stick him in, and then he can drive. Simple as that. Stick him back out of the seat. Lengthwise, you see Henry is a little bit shorter than Roadburn, which is actually accurate. Like I said, I always go on Wikipedia or some sort of car website to find out the exact dimensions of my LEGO formers. But this guy is a little taller. Once again, it's also accurate, for this was a very short and sleek car. Moving him out of the way, now it's time to move on to the part I personally like. Transformation. To transform LEGO Transformers Roadburn, it is very simple and very reminiscent of a lot of G1 Transformers. Is it the best Transformer I've ever made? No, I actually am not very proud of this one, and I'm planning on upgrading him in the future. You will see me eventually do that, I am sure. Anyways, to transform him, just like most G1 toys, you would just flip out the sides. Big surprise, these are the arms. You'll see in car mode, he wasn't too stable because he doesn't lock in very well. He has a lock-in system, but for whatever reason, it's just a very loose system. Anyway, once you've opened these up and gotten these arms out of the way, you can take this and fold it down in one big assembly. Back up the camera a bit. You see, he's getting tall. Then from there, you can just split the legs. And what I do is I actually rotate this waist piece forward, then these legs down. This helps with his balance and kind of gives him a weird posture, but I actually like the posture because it gives him this new look. It also shortens him a bit so he doesn't have this big lanky waist. Looking good, not too shabby. From there, you can see he has little hands that just fold out. Oops, pops off sometimes. It's Lego, what can you do? Fold it around, and now he has a hand. And last but not least, you'll see up here, the steering wheel actually folds up to become his head. And here we have Lego Transformers Roadburn in his robot mode. Now, Lego Transformers Roadburn isn't the best in the world. In fact, I am not personally, like I said, that proud of him, and I'm planning on doing an upgrade soon. Regardless, I think he makes a great member of my team. You'll see here, he is next to a minifigure. So he's a little tall, not too tall, one of the smaller members of the team. He is taller than Henry, which I will give you a size comparison soon. He has a very simple head, and I know a lot of people will complain about that because it's really boring. But I actually did that on purpose. I like the simplicity of heads, and you'll see most of my Transformers have simple heads. I guess it's kind of just a style I do. I don't know if you'd count it as stylization or laziness. It's one of the two. Anyway, you'll see he has these little arms. They're quite short, actually, sadly. They're not the best in the world, and they're not very articulated, considering all they can really do is go like this. The hands can move too. You'll see they actually move like this, as kind of like a forearm, but once again, it looks really weird, and I'll be doing a lot of upgrading. The reason why this guy kind of didn't turn out well is because I have a very, blocky, square building style, and I always build with, the same parts. So I was trying to make a car, as small and accurate, but still hold a minifigure like I did. It didn't work out well, because the area where my arms would have stored is where the minifigure needed to sit. So I had to make sacrifices. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. You see his head moves up and down. His arms move in and out. The hands move. The waist is fully rotates, as well as it has, a whole crunch section. I guess that's for transformation, but I guess it counts. The legs move forward and back. He can stand really, straight, but I like to split his legs. This is about as posable as he gets, because he's not the most posable of characters ever made. Putting the camera down and setting him back so I can have both hands free. Here is his gun, the Energon Shot Blast. Thankfully, despite it being white, you can still see it. I made this just by putting random white pieces together that I thought looked good and kind of unique. And I'd say it turned out pretty well. To get him to hold it, he has the clip hands, and this gun has a little, peg section, and it just pegs right in his hand. Simple as that. I like the fact that he has a humongous gun, because I like to think of this guy as a big guns person. Despite his low articulation, I gave his forearm that articulation so I could bend the gun up and stuff and give him this aiming pose, which is how I pose him on my shelf. Anyways, I'd say he looks pretty cool. Once again, as I've said a couple times, I'm kind of rambling now. He is not the best Transformer I've ever made. Here he is next to Henry, still in his car mode. And here he is next to Henry in his robot mode. Henry is actually the second shortest of my whole team, as you will see in the future. So I'd say this stacks up pretty well. Not to mention the Model T is naturally just a really small car. So the fact that this one stacks up so nicely next to the Corvette, I think is a pretty cool thing. Which one do I like better is definitely Henry. I revised Henry so many times that I just love the way he's turned out now with diagonal wheels and grill chest. But this guy is kind of blocky and non-posable. Here's a minifigure next to the two of them. As far as you know, this is the whole team so far, but I actually have many more to come, considering they've already been built. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been LEGO Transformers Roadburn. Hope you guys tune in for the next episode, where I will be covering the next member of my team. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.